What's up, everyone? How's it going? Welcome to today's market analysis and trade recap episode. Today is Monday, July the 28th, and as you can see, today was that losing day that we haven't had in a long time, and potentially could have been prevented because honestly, today market conditions were not optimal. Um, and yeah, that's all I can really say. I mean, we kind of forced the trades, and because we forced the trades, none of these trades are really optimal, and that's likely because we took a big break after the 2 day weekend. It's a typical weekend, but as we get on Monday, it we do need to get back in the swing of things, right? And today we're just getting back in that swing, and it's completely okay. I mean, analysis wasn't bad for half of these. It's more of the fact that we forced some of these trades when we really did not have to. And as you see, today we did not really have any news that we had to worry about, so there was nothing really we had to worry about. So, given that, let's get straight into the analysis, right? So, let's first go into our pre-market game plan. I do want to tell you guys this. So, we were going into this relative gap fill region, right? We wanted to see how we would react at this area. We wanted to see if we were going to react and head upwards or head below it, use this as rejection potentially, and then continue heading lower. We were looking to identify which one of those are going to happen, and we're looking to identify direction in order to use it as confluence to follow the trend or follow a continuation method that would actually ensure us to yield positive results today. Hold on, I'm just going to the market session time. There we go. Alright, so that's essentially what we're looking at on both ES and NQ. NQ, we had this gap fill region, same thing, but now, what we are seeing right now, I know this is not the market analysis of today, but what we're seeing now, if you take a look at NQ, NQ came down to this gap fill region, and at this gap fill region, price pumped back up and broke this 15-minute. Potentially might lead us upwards. But if you see, ES on the other hand, we broke below that region and now we're testing this area once again. And honestly, buyer aggression is not pushing us above it. We definitely see lots of consolidation here. So it's hard to really tell where price is going to go next. We are above VWAP on both of them, but then again, we're below that gap fill region where we previously saw aggressive sellers. But that's later for tomorrow's pre-market analysis. Let's focus on today and let's hop on the 5 minute to conduct the analysis, see whether we missed out on any trades, and analyze the good things and bad things about each one of these trades. I mean, this one break even. This one was a small winner, 5 tick winner, which is really insignificant, and this one was a loser, which did put us down on the day. Let's see how much takes it put us down. For 12 ticks. Hold on. Okay, that's not bad. Okay, so let's do this, right? Market opened right around here, and we started heading down until we took out this bookmap liquidity. And I do want to see, maybe we see absorption there. Maybe a reversal play could have been taken early in the market. I do want to keep my eyes out for that. Come down to this area once. I mean, honestly, we do see potential seller absorption here. We're seeing aggressive selling come in that is unable to break through. And when we do break through, there's not really any interest below that region. Buyers have just brought it back up, and now they're fighting within this range. This simply had been a fluke out when sellers went down. Mm, we're seeing buyer imbalances here nonetheless. Buyer imbalance, buyer imbalance, buyer imbalance. So this should identify as a very key level. And honestly, we did not mark this in the session as well. This is an area of buyer imbalances on top of seller absorption, which is very bullish. So I do want to see how we react there, but right coming into market open, we do see price get absorbed there. I don't think this would be an area where we would enter what's it called? Longs necessarily, simply because there's not really enough confirmation. We haven't dug deep enough into this region to actually see absorption, and it's quite early in the market as well, but we do see those longs start to occur within this candle, and we see lots of buyer aggression right around that point of control region, and then we move up, head to this level right here. So right now, quick summary, pawn market open is very consolidated, but then we headed down, took out this liquidity right here, popped up a bit. I do want to see if there was something we could have taken there, right around 8:45, like right here. This might have been a potential play we could have made. Right here, what do we see happening? We come up into that area of passive buyers. We do see a little bit of passive buying aggression, but we come into area of passive selling. Buyers have gotten absorbed. I want to see a reaction, a strong. Okay, say we enter 27.75. Oh wow, that is not the best area to enter. Well, let's see. We come back up into this region, then it would be 2.5. Literally would be 2.5. So 2.5.25. So 10 ticks. Stop loss would be around 630-ish. So yeah, one-to-one risk reward could have been made, and this would have put us into profit. Don't really know how I would have liked that trade, simply because we've already soaked lower liquidity and there's passive reactions and passive participants on either side. And honestly, that's the exact reason why we did not enter that trade. But let's keep moving forward. See, now we came down into that lower region where sellers were unable to step in and even test that region. Now we are testing that region. Sellers are unable to push through. Buyers are coming in, pushed above that level. Just keep nothing to trade here at all. Lots of buying volume there. Now we've came up into this region. And now, all things said, this would not be a bad region to short if we saw buyer absorption, but we actually broke through that region. Now, we are still holding it to an extent, but we have levels on either side. See, now this was where I entered my first trade of the day. And there are multiple reasons for this, right? And honestly, it was a kind of forced trade. We saw buyers break through this level right here, and this level of passive buyers form. What that told me is that market might be shifting sentiment, and we might use this as support to head up into these 6440 levels. But one thing we did was assume that if this level held, this 6435 level would break, which is not true. The 6435 level is still apparent there. There's no telling that if it was going to break. If none of these were there and this was there, 100%, those are great longs to take. But we have these two areas of passive selling that makes it harder for buying to continue to push up. And if we take a look here at this 910 candle, we see a lot of volume here on the downside, and as you'll notice, we did break below that region. We entered right around here, right? We saw a quick pop up after price took out this level, and these passive sellers quickly got out. Told me maybe buying could come in, bring us up to 6440, and that's how I modeled my trade. We did go up a little bit back to entry region, but right as we tested this 6435 region, price was unable to break above, and we started seeing selling occur again. And this was where I took my second trade. We saw these sell icebergs come in. We saw that buyers were unable to push through. This region was holding very nicely. And then we started to see a reaction of sellers. We entered literally off the reaction around 6431, targeting shorts down to lower liquidity, all the way down here. And if you take a look, shorts did come in very aggressively at the start, during our entry. But unfortunately, those sellers could not get all the way to our take profit. Now, we stayed in the trade and we didn't even move our stop loss to break even. We moved it to around the 6435 region, which is over here. And we're still waiting to see what price will do now. Stop again, we're still holding. And we see the 6432 area being an area of passive selling, 6432.5, 6432.5. Which we moved our stop to break even, or could have moved our stop. We did not do it in live. And now, ooh, maybe this could have been a long trade. Where was that? 925. Ooh, we can check 1 minute on that, but I would have wanted to take a long there. Especially, like, take a look at these passive buyers here. We came down aggressively, but then buyers bought back up, and now passive buyers are showing buyers are showing urgency. And if we see seller absorption at this level, we might potentially use it as fuel to potentially now head to these 6440 levels, or first these 6435 levels. But as you see, we don't even touch that region, and we start coming up again, down again. And what I had marked out from previously was that this region right here, we saw a lot of buyer aggression here. And this buyer aggression was very significant and large amount of volume. So we extended it out, and what we saw was that every time we came to this relative region, sellers were unable to push down below. And if we saw sellers push down below and buyers create volume again, that could have created for a great short position. But we saw sellers being unable to push below this area. So this area I'm being very keen to watch. And right here we do see sellers actually break below this area, and that's all the way at 950. But we see that price is holding around this region and that it's unable to break through, and we simply exit the position around 930, so right around here. As we keep going, there's not really any setups to be made here, right? As passive order book is not the greatest. And as you see, we're just consolidating very much around this relative price range. You're bouncing using this as support. Now here, this is the main area where I think I may have potentially missed out on a potential play. But let's take a look at that as well. Right at 950 was when we saw that seller breakthrough. Let's go. We come up to that region. We don't test those 6435 levels. We simply see seller urgency followed by, we don't even touch that seller urgency level, which 645, 945. Yeah, nothing there. We do see buy absorption at 940 around this region, but not really any passive levels for us to work with at that point. But yeah, here you start to see very aggressive selling pop in very, very soon, as you'll go ahead and see. And we finally are able to test that lower level. And unfortunately, here, we break down to break below this level. And then here at 10:15, we break through our liquidity, as you'll see very soon. But since we're so close to passive orders on Bookmap, we did not take a short off break and retest, because at these 6424 levels there was lots of passive buying. And soon enough here we see the selling come in very, very aggressively. Any second now. Yeah, there we go. See, very aggressive selling pop in. And now this is where we took our third trade of the day. And realistically, three trades on a Monday is a big no-no. We likely should have just exited for the small profit that we did have for the day. But instead, we took this trade and exit for loss. So what I noticed here was that we broke below this liquidity level. We have this level below. And now, an area where there were previous passive buyers, has now turned into an area where there are now passive sellers. So that's a very big bearish sign right there. And honestly, bias and conviction on this is not bad. But the thing is that we never see absorption plus reaction. And when validating things of that nature, we do want to see absorption plus reaction. We never really go and touch into these areas and actually react off such. We're simply stalling at the area, we're not reacting, and then these buyers are able to just continue and push price upwards. And that passive orders is not that significant to a sense, because as you see now, passive buyers are now defending this area once again, and by that time it's now 10:30. So I mean, that's gonna be our market analysis for today. I know I made this a bit quicker than usual videos, but just really wanted to go and see if I missed any actual setups. And today there were no setups that would have actually been presented. And because there were no setups to be presented, we realistically should have been flat on the day. But instead we took 3 force trades, which we could have had a profit if we did not take the last trade. But that's okay. This trade, we did not see assertion plus reaction. This trade, same thing, and this trade, same thing. So what I'm going to be looking for is to see price actually touch and react to a level. And if we actually see a touch and reaction, that's when we're going to enter. We're not going to get conviction before we actually see a confirmation method occur. If we don't see confirmation, we should not enter. And that's simply the mistake we made today. And another thing was there's not that much news here today that can drive the market in terms of volume. And in that sense, we did have volume, but not crazy volatility, and it was a pretty choppy day, especially with the fact that this level and these wicks were holding this lower region very strongly. As you see, this zone was actually very, very key today. And honestly, it held there as well. You can take a look at this. This level that we marked out literally was one of the best support and resistance zones using the footprint that I've made in a while. Breakthrough below, strong push down. Retracement back into it, fake out above, wick it back down below. Insanely strong push towards the downside. So yeah, we can likely leverage that later as well. But that is going to be all I have here for today. If you have any questions, feel free to comment down below or join the completely free Discord server. Link is in the description down below, and you might gain a thing or two out of it if we're completely free. Additionally, If you want to see how to use Orderflow for completely free as well, and how to start integrating it for completely free, starting today, no catch, then check out the links in the description for the Bookmap live stream and one of the best footprint softwares that I've seen out there in terms of user friendliness and simpleness, Addis charts. With the free plan, you get free data on crypto, I think, not 100%, and a 15-minute delay on futures. So with that 15-minute delay, you can still start integrating it within your strategy. You always want to start practicing with past data before actually integrating it live, and Addis provides you one of the only means to do such, and that's why it is so great. Very easy to set up as well. But yeah, those are my words on that. Other than that, I think I'll see you guys tomorrow morning for pre-market analysis. So I guess I'll see you guys then. Goodbye.